This is the Productivity Podcast with Timothy and Ndika.
Hey there, welcome to Productivity Podcast with Timothy and Ndika, where we get to share ideas and tools on personal and organizational productivity. For today's podcast, we are beginning a series on finding purpose, right? So it's going to be a 3-part series, and this is the first part. So before we talk about finding purpose, let's define purpose. Purpose is basically the reason why a thing exists in a place, the reason why something exists in a place. So what's the purpose of this bookshelf, right? The reason why the bookshelf is there, to put books, right? What's the purpose of a doctor in this space? To treat people that are sick, right? What's the purpose of a pastor in this church? To raise people and help them grow spiritually, right? So on an individual level, what is your purpose in life? It's very important that you find purpose and discover purpose, because that is how you are going to rate your success. Your success is going to be determined by how much you are accomplishing in line with your purpose. Even organizationally, right? The success of an organization is defined by how much the organization is accomplishing in line with its purpose. So let's come back to the individual. So there are 6 keys that can help you to find purpose or to discover purpose, okay? And they all begin with P, so it's easy to remember. The first P, or the first key for finding purpose, is pain. So pain is a pointer to purpose. So anything that hurts you can point you to purpose. Anything that makes you feel so bad, right, can be a pointer to your purpose. I'm going to use a very sensitive story to explain this point, although there are several stories I can use. But there's this lady, a minister, right, by name Joyce Meyer. Joyce Meyer is a preacher of the word, a teacher of the word, and from her story, right, she shared her testimony severally. She was raped by her dad until she was around 18 years old, and she had this emotional trauma, insecurities, anger issues, trust issues, and all that pain and all that agony. But guess what? She turned her pain to purpose. Right now, Joyce Meyer, like I mentioned, she's a teacher of the word, and she has women conferences, and she helps people to heal from emotional trauma, and she helps people to forgive. You get? So imagine someone who went through all that trauma for that long, and then she had these issues, obviously, that came with it, and now she's the one that is leading thousands of persons to heal, to forgive, to break free from addictions and all that. So she's turned her pain to purpose, and that can be you too. So the first key for finding purpose is pain. Pain can be a pointer to purpose. The second key, or the second P, is problems. A problem that you recognize you may be wired to solve. A problem that you recognize you may be wired to solve it. I'll use an example from the Bible. Pardon me, non-Christians. All right, this is a guy called Moses. I love him a lot. I love his story a lot. And he was born in, Pharaoh's house. He somehow knew that his brothers, the Israelites, were being maltreated, and he saw that as a problem. He recognized that was a problem. They were, being beaten. They were, being enslaved. And he recognized that problem, and he tried to solve it, right? And actually, that was his purpose, okay? So the point exactly is that when you recognize a problem and it bothers you so much, it might just mean that you are wired to solve it. So instead of being a complainer, try to provide solutions for the problems you recognize, okay? So instead of being someone that complains, try to provide solutions to the problems you recognize. Because, for instance, if there's a lot of girl child abuse and stuff like that, and then people actually know that it's bad, but you see that problem more. It's as if you recognize it more than every other person. It bothers you more than every other person. Instead of just complaining about it, you might as well maybe do some initiative or anything at all. That's how some of these girl child initiative were born. So instead of just complaining about a problem that you recognize, try to provide a solution for it. You may not know your purpose may be largely to solve that problem. So the other 4 keys we shared in second and the third part. Follow the channel for more.